Hi, my name is Nat and this is my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. And if you are not new here, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first video you're ever watching of me, please watch others. Because this is just me just talking. This is what I do with my get ready with me's. I will just talk about a few TikToks that I find have spoken to me recently. I just save them, and of course I will credit the TikTokers that made them. I will post them as I talk, but mostly this is just me talking about healing, friendships, you know, just getting over trauma and all of that. So if you are interested, stick with me. I already did my eyebrows. As you can see, they're not completely done. Oh, look at my nails. Look at my nails. But yeah, let's get right into this video. I'm going to start. I've already primed my face with a Tula primer, and then yeah, let's just get in. If I'm not going to talk about the products so much, I will put them in the description box if you want. I just find that people don't really care for that anymore these days. Like, we all
have consumed so much makeup content
that we kind of already know like what someone's using. But if you are interested in knowing exactly what I use, just drop a comment and I will let you know what I'm using. Okay, all right, let's get into the video. Okay, so it's summertime and I did not pick up a summer shade for my face, so this is what we're dealing with. I don't know how we got here, kids.
What's something that nobody told you about when you begin your self-healing and self-loving journey?
The messy part of healing. Like, we glorify the glow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was looking for when I started to heal, right? I'm a therapist myself. So I was like, oh, sis glowed up. Like, you could just see it all over her, the radiance, right? I wanted that. But I didn't know that you got to go through this messy part of healing, the crying, the questioning yourself, the wondering, like, is your whole life, was it a lie? Because nothing makes sense when you start healing. Like, didn't nobody tell me about that boy? The parts I didn't want to get out of bed, the crying, the looking at people side-eyeing, because it's like, this how y'all been living? And then the grief that comes along with shedding yourself of that unhealed version of yourself. Ain't nobody talking about that. That's why I try to talk about it. But like, that's the part I wish somebody would have told me. I'm curious now. What about you? Drop me a comment.
So that first TikTok that you just watched about healing, and I find it to be so interesting because no one really ever talks about that side of healing. Like, it's so true. Like, we always talk about like the glow up, and even when you're thinking about your own healing, you're thinking about, once I'm out of this situation, I'm going to glow up, I'm gonna have my shit together, I'm gonna, you know, be baller status and all of that. But we don't ever put into account the suffering that comes with healing, the suffering that comes with grieving your past self, grieving the lost relationships that you left behind. Because even though, yes, it was a good decision for you to get out. Oh, this is not my skin tone, this is not my summer shade, but we're gonna work it, okay? Even if it was the best decision for you to make at those points, you're still gonna miss these people. Like, it's at some point they made you happy, right? At some point you laughed together, at some point you had stuff in common, so you're going to miss them. You're going to go through a grieving process in your healing where you're gonna feel like you made the wrong decision, like and then you're gonna also try to your mind, well, not your mind, but you're also more susceptible to be tempted to bring these people back into your lives because back into your life because maybe what they did wasn't that bad, maybe it wasn't worth them, maybe it wasn't worth you cutting them off all the way. You know what I'm saying? So you battle those thoughts a lot of like, was I right to cut them off, and did I do it in a way that was so, like, did I burn bridges and all of that? And I saw a meme, and so the meme says, if there's a bridge between you and your happiness, fuck that bridge. So so I want to expound more into this thing of like healing, because I'm going through that process too. And oh, also watch this one.
Please let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Is anyone else like coming out of a depression? Like, for example, my depression was like 4 years long, 5 years long. How old am I? 25 years long. And my personality is starting to come back. And I notice it's throwing other people off because it's like, she's acting different. And it's like, I'm not acting different. You know, I'm finally acting like myself again.
Okay, so those two combined is kind of exactly what I've been going through, because I feel like I have been in a depression for a very, very long time, and I'm coming out of it, and I find myself like acting the way that it's so natural to me, but to other people and to the people, like to other people, it seems like in a way that's, oh my gosh, you're different. But I'm not different. Like, I'm just realizing my worth, and like I'm coming out of that negative headspace, and I've done a lot of healing, and I've done a lot of work intrinsically to make sure that I'm good in here and in my spirit and how I act and all of that stuff. So that's another thing that's affecting what I'm talking about today, like that healing process. Like, I didn't expect it. I thought I was just, sorry, I'm rushing my words, but what I thought was gonna happen was me just, which is a stupid thing to feel like these things are no longer gonna bother you, right? That's what I thought. I thought these things that used to bother me are not gonna bother me anymore because I've let them go, right? I've let them go, and I've released them, right? And I'm at peace. But sometimes I find myself really in a place where I am so deeply into the feeling of like I'm right back into the moment of my specific trauma with a specific person, and I'm right back there. I feel all the emotions that I felt. Whether it's, yeah, this is where triggers, you know, come into play and all of that stuff, sure. But even though like it has been a while since that event happened and you're healed and that person is more or less no longer in your life the way they used to be, you're still gonna experience that type of stuff. It comes with healing. It's natural. It's like, it's just part of the process of really just being out of that specific situation. And so I would just like to talk, that's something that I found I resonated with a lot because I overlooked it. I really overlooked the fact that when you're healing is when actually you feel the most pain, because like it's unexpected pain though. Like that's why you feel like the most pain, because it's really unexpected pain. It hits you out of nowhere at different points in your life, at different times in your life. It's like mini panic attacks keep happening, and you're wondering, why am I still going through this, and this person is no longer in my life, or this thing that took my soul, or this thing that really took my energy is no longer in my life. So why am I constantly feeling like this, you know? But healing comes with a lot of crying, a lot of like self-doubt. Self-doubt is a big part of healing, because now you're kind of alone, right? Like I feel like most healing comes from when you depart from relationships that you kind of depended on to be happy, kind of, because yes, some relationships really do pour into our happiness. As much as we want to be like self-sufficient in that area, we are human beings, and therefore other people pour into our happiness. Other people add value into our lives. Like, we can't help it. That's just the way things are. So when those people are removed, or when that substance or whatever it is removed from your life, there's a lot of questioning, because you kind of lost yourself to it or to them for a very long time. So I kind of just going through that right now, where I'm just healing, but also like it feels very cathartic. Like everything that I do or everything that I see, like I feel like I just have such an open heart center that everything in the world means something to me now. Like stuff just means so much to me. When I look at something, I just don't look at it as just a simple thing that's in the world. Like I look at things and I'm like, okay, like what can I learn from it? I don't know if I'm making any sense to you at this point. I'm just now, like the red flags that I used to ignore very much when it came to like friendships and stuff are things that I'm more so not looking for now, but I really am looking at them like, stop not taking these red flags seriously when it comes to your friendships. Like if you're not going to take a certain behavior from your boss, why are you taking it from someone who's supposedly supposed to treat you like really, really well? And then also another thing, people are not going to understand your healing. Everyone heals in a different way, but people are not going to understand your process. Don't expect them to. Like I don't expect anybody to understand or appreciate my process, because it's so different, and I'm healing the way that I know best, you know? And to other people that may look like this is not who you are. Whatever feels best for you, whatever feels natural, whatever feels like it's working for you to heal, do that and keep doing it, because it's working, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And so like that's another thing where you will feel alone, because people are not going to understand your process. So there's just a really dark side to healing, but it's so worth it. It's the kind of pain that is absolutely worth everything. Like, it's just worth feeling that way, because once you're over it, you're so over it, and your story is gonna help one person, at least one person. Like, your story of that BS that you went through, or the BS that you put someone else through, because you might have been the one that put someone else through something, you know what I'm saying? So you also have to heal in regards of forgiving yourself for actions, for everything, for every role that you took in your own suffering or someone else's suffering. You have to forgive yourself through this process of healing, and that's something that is hard for people to do. It's hard for people to just forgive themselves, I found, because at some point you feel like you don't deserve it, because that's me sometimes. I'm like, actually I deserve to suffer, you know, like I convince myself that actually no, this is my karma, so I deserve to suffer. But it gets to a point where you have to just say, no, you don't deserve that, you know. But yeah, that finding, I mean, giving yourself grace and giving yourself love and understanding that you are a human being, even though you don't even recognize the person that did the actions that you may have done, or taken the abuse that you may have taken in those relationships that you were in. Like, even if you don't recognize that person, just forgive that person, because you were definitely in a space where you were vulnerable. Like, we're not in these situations just, you know, willy-nilly and not knowing what we're doing or not knowing who we're dealing with. Most of the time you know exactly who you're dealing with. They've shown you exactly who they are multiple times, but for one reason or another you're not cutting the cord as fast as you should. For whatever reason, there's some sort of like security or like a safety net with these people, whether it's socially, maybe they're in the social class that you want to be in, which a lot of people in this day and age will withstand a lot of abuse just because people are in a specific social class. So I'm going to still hang out with these people who make fun of me all the time, who make me feel like shit all the time. Why? Because when I'm with them I look cool, you know, I'm in the circle, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that sometimes may be a reason why you want to hold on to these relationships, or it could be a marriage or a friendship that you've had for so long. Like, you've had this friendship for your entire life, so giving up on it now, it would make you seem like a quitter, or it would make you seem like you were fake all along. But my thing is, like, if it's not pouring into me anymore, if it's not serving me anymore, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna participate in it anymore. Like, if it's stopped being of benefit to me and my mental health, I'm not going to keep doing it, whether or not I've known you for 20 plus years. Okay, I don't think it's necessary just because you have history with someone. And I feel like I've heard that from so many couples that are in toxic situations. They say that we've already been through so much, so for us to give up now, it doesn't make any sense. Huh? So you continue to traumatize each other and your children just because you've gone through so much. Going through so much with someone does not mean anything at this point. Honestly, it does not mean anything if you're going to constantly go through these things and you call it passion, or these fights that you keep having that feel like it's so passionate and such a rush when you're having these fights, but then you have sex after. Like, just, you know, that toxic kind of like cycle with people. I just personally, like, do what you want with your life, but I don't feel like that's healthy at all. I don't feel it's healthy, and I just don't. I don't feel like it's healthy for your healing. Like, sometimes you really do lose yourself in that type of relationship where, I mean, that type of thing, and then when you come out of it, you don't even recognize yourself. And that's another thing with healing too. Like, you look in the mirror, you have a lot of like imposter syndrome. You don't know who this person is, or why she looks so different, or why she's acting so different, or why different things now matter more than others do. It's confusing. It's really, really confusing, but it's so good. Like, it feels so good. I don't know. Like, I take the pain I really do take the pain with good. I mean, with the good, because no, I take the good with the bad, because the good is more, you know, the percentage of good that comes with healing is much more than the percentage of like bad stuff that comes with it. It's just uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable process because you're shedding. It's a shedding process, like a soft shell crab. Have you ever seen them shed? It's so interesting, but it's really, really gross. Like it's really, really gross. But then when you're looking at a soft shell crab shed, they shed their really hardcore outer shell, which is really beautiful. I don't know if I can find something to post, but I will try. But then for some time, they're soft, they're mushy, you can step on them, like anything in the world can hurt them and they can just die because they're so soft after they shed that. And I feel like that's healing too, but then they end up growing a better shell, a harder shell than they had in the beginning. I mean, that's a good metaphor, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, I just saw that and I was like, I am afraid, like that is such a nice way to just look at nature and learn from it, because that's what happens with healing. Like you do have a hard outer shell that you were once super comfortable with, that was once protecting you, that was once your armor. But then now when you're in your process, it's gone and you feel vulnerable and you feel soft, you feel scared, you feel confused, you feel like anything and anyone can hurt you, just like Mr. Crab here. But the shell you grow after, is so worth it. It's much better than the one you had before. So if you stick through it, like just don't give up on your process of growth. Like that's what I would say, like, and that's what I would tell myself too, is like, just do not give up in the middle just because it feels uncomfortable. People just don't like to be uncomfortable. I know that human beings hate being uncomfortable, but we have to be uncomfortable a lot of times. So when you're feeling uncomfortable in your situation right now, it's not forever. That's the good thing and a bad thing about life. Nothing lasts forever. Really, your pain does not last. It's not going to last forever, but also your joy is not going to last forever. So you just live for yourself, okay? Ooh, that was such a short, can't believe I'm done already with my makeup. That was really quick. That was only 15 minutes of face. This is a 20-minute face. I love that. And we were talking so much during too. So yeah, I know this is not like a complete video. Really good situation. The universe is aligning. I'm telling you, once you let go of these things that don't serve you, once you let go of these emotions and people that don't serve you anymore, things just start to align. It really does. I haven't like actively manifested. Like I've seen so many people doing a lot of things like manifestations with the moon and all of that stuff. Like I haven't actively manifested, which I think I will start doing. It's just because my faith, I believe, like I'm a Christian, and so I don't know if manifesting aligns with my faith, but also I believe in everything. So I don't know. It kind of feels like witchcraft. I am so sorry for anyone that is manifesting or has manifested in the past. Like the rituals, the ritualistic thing, you know, is like very against the Christian church. Like we don't have those. And we actually do have rituals. Please, we do. Please, if you're being like serious, we do have rituals. We just don't call them rituals. But the manifesting thing, like, yeah, you write something down, you put it in the ground, or you have to be bare feet on the ground. Like there's so many ways to do it. So it just feels a little bit different. I just choose to do both. Gotten a lot of clarity from during my healing is my spirituality has really changed, and I find myself leaning more and more towards, into it. My anxiety is much lower now that I lean into my spirituality. I lean into the universe, I lean into fate, God, just energy, all of that stuff has helped me immensely. Like my anxiety is very low now. for the most part. I'm not saying that I don't have anxiety anymore, but I definitely do. It's just managed better. Like, I'm not taking medication for it anymore. Whereas the past, I used to feel like, oh, I'm gonna faint, I'm gonna pass out, I'm gonna die. You know, don't you just hate that when your lash like pokes you out of nowhere and you don't know where it's poking at? Oh God. Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed that little talk. Leave your comments down below what you think of healing or what you've experienced in your own healing process, because I find that a lot of my comments when I make videos like this are so helpful to me. Like, women just, okay, well, I haven't seen a man comment like his experience, so that's why I'm just saying women, but people who just write down their experiences really helps me specifically. So if you have any more input in regards to your healing and how you're doing and what worked for you, or kind of what you're struggling with even, you know, put it down below and we can have a conversation about it. I just find it so helpful. I've created a safe space where no one's gonna bother you, and if someone does in your comment, I'll delete them and I'll block them. Okay, so you feel free. Okay, just comment whatever you want. This is a safe space of love and light. Damn, that was a 20-minute face. How did you do it? How did you do that, girl? How did you manage? Sometimes I just do it. Do I need blush? Not really, not necessarily. These earrings are tarnish-free gold plated earrings from Asante by Koi. I've mentioned this before, but this is what they look like. They're so freaking cute. You can shower with them, swim in them. They're not gonna turn green. Yes, they're a little bit pricey. It's less than $50 though. It's like around 30 something dollars I paid for these, but definitely worth it to have grown-up jewelry where you can vacation in, especially now in the summertime. It's just so nice to have jewelry that you know is not gonna affect your skin or turn green in front of people, because I feel like cheap jewelry, just you can watch it turn a different color in front of you, like a magic trick. So I will link them down below for you to shop. It's a woman-owned company. Look at that. So cute, simple, and elegant. I absolutely love that. So pretty. I will link them down below for you to shop. She ships worldwide. Yes, she does. Okay, so I'm gonna use my favorite lip gloss. Oh my gosh, these are so good. Fenty, the gloss bombs. Oh, I love a thick gloss. And then one thing that I've decided to do today, and to consciously do it and actually do it because I need to do it, is to let go of the past. Like, stuff that's already happened, sis, even if it's traumatizing, let it go. Just let it go. There's nothing you can do to change anything that has happened. Like, there's literally nothing you can do to change it. So you just thinking about it is not gonna do anything for you. Really, I mean, you can identify behavior patterns. That's as much as you can do with it. But there's really nothing you can do to change anything that happened. So like, if you're having a hard time letting go, that's one thing. Like, that's understandable. Yeah, everyone has a hard time letting go. But if you're purposefully holding on to it to bring it out at a later date to somebody, or if you just want to, like, receipts, like these receipts, oh girl, those can be more damaging than helpful. Like, receipts can be so much more damaging than helpful to just your own psyche and your own well-being, to be honest. But, you know, again, social media glamorized receipts. Have receipts. Ooh, receipts are painful. I went through a lot of like old text messages recently, and to say that it broke my heart is like an understatement. Like, it is the understatement of the year. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I put myself through that. Why would I put myself through that? Like, why would I do that? Why did I do that? But I did it anyways. Now I know not to, duh. Let's see. We live and we learn. Hallelujah. Oh, I hope you like this look. This is so freaking cute to me. Well, my eyebrow usually does this thing where it's just like not, it doesn't, gorgeous. Yeah, I love this. That came out really well. Some days it's not, especially for being that fast. Like it was 15 minutes. God. All right, let's go.
Go ahead and do it. You know you want to. Yes.